Man, all-wheel drive feels great. I was driving. Oh. Do I take it back? Probably.
Turn left.
Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Not 100% journey. No random gameplay clips for the archive and no unlocking a single achievement. Today we're going to work on a kind of video I've been meaning to work on for a while. A type of video I did ages ago, prior to this channel. All of which got deleted. But I've been excited to get back to it. So, if most of you have not gotten the hints here and there, or heard it on stream, I'm a scientist. A chemist, to be exact. But all scientists learn practically the same methods for approaching problems. I have sought, for ages, to use the science I have learned to have fun in video games and make videos. There will be videos where I teach chemistry. However, I would much rather use the scientific approach, or the scientific method, some of you may call it that, to just analyze questions, problems, theories, and other interesting topics in video games, and use not just chemistry, but all aspects of science, both of the natural world, the quantum world, and the sociological world. Now, that sounds a little more complicated, doesn't it? We'll get to something like that eventually, but for now we're going to be answering much simpler questions, just to practice the blueprint of the scientific method in our video games. Anyways, today we're going to ask ourselves a question in Forza Horizon 4, and a Rally 2.0, but we'll get to that later. Now, I'm not a car guy. Maybe you are. Or maybe you're a car woman. But is all-wheel drive better than rear-wheel drive and forward-wheel drive in off-road scenarios? And when I say off-road, I'm referring to rally racing. Whether you're tearing through forest hills, gripping gravel switchbacks, or sliding sideways in a rallycross heat, your drivetrain can be the difference between domination and master. Today we're diving deep into all-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, and forward-wheel drive. Now these are quite hard to pronounce consecutively without messing them up, so I'm just going to say AWD, RWD, and FWD. Now since this is a new topic for me too, we're going to talk about what they are, how they work, their pros and their cons, and most importantly, which drivetrain performs the best in rally or rallycross. So let's hit the dirt. Now some of you might jump the gun and immediately say yes to AWD. But we'll get into the pros and cons of each in just a moment. For now, let's just discuss our method of evaluation here. Our scientific method, that is. We'll be using it to plan out an experiment to get the best times for each drivetrain, and then be able to compare them to each other to know which one is best off-road. To either prove a theory or to disprove one. With the hands-down thesis here being that all-wheel drive is always going to be better. So first of all, let's make our observation, which is obviously the difference in drivetrain, and wanting to observe the difference in their performance. This observation then raises a question, well, is all-wheel drive better than rear-wheel drive and forward-wheel drive? We're then going to formulate a hypothesis. A simple one to say the least, since we're doing an experiment in a video game. If we perform with AWD, RWD, and FWD without too large of a deviation in the vehicle's weight, acceleration, traction, and handling on the exact same track, under the exact same environmental conditions, will AWD outperform? We're then going to conduct the experiment on that track, compare times, and then explain why there's a difference in those times. Then we'll come to a conclusion on what the best drivetrain for that specific track is. Now, there are some things to consider. Obviously, there's human error. I will be trying to drive my best, and only my best. Accident and mistake-free times.
No way, bro.
Are the only ones that are going to be included. We'll be getting our top 3 best times, mistake-free, and then getting an average, and that time per car is what we'll use to compare to other cars on the same track. Now, I will post all my attempts under the archive tab, so stay tuned for that. It was frustrating, to say the least.
And we lost control.
And there's obviously the difference in the vehicles. No car is going to be the exact same. And lastly, well, Forza Horizon 4 isn't the most realistic driving simulator, and it has opponents, so this is technically rallycross? So this experiment is essentially testing the best drivetrain for a track for a rallycross. It's inherently testing the drivetrain against time, the track, and its opponents. Once we come to a conclusion of that specific track, well, we can try another track. And to make this even more interesting, we'll be hopping into a more advanced driving simulator such as Dirt Rally 2.0. And use the same cars we use in Forza Horizon 4 on a separate track. Just the driver and their car against the clock. Then we'll finally compare real times on a real track on past performances. Then we'll end the video with some interesting quotes from real drivers based on drivetrains. So let's first talk about our drivetrains, then our vehicles, and our tracks. Every vehicle has a drivetrain, basically the system that delivers engine power to the wheels. There are 3 main types used in motorsport and rally. FWD, RWD, and AWD. Now, there is 4WD, which is four-wheel drive, but we're going to exclude that one for this video. So, FWD is front-wheel drive. The engine powers the front wheels only. It's simple, lightweight, and it's cheap to build and maintain. Now, RWD is rear-wheel drive. The power goes to the rear wheels. The front wheels essentially do the steering while the rear wheels push. It's great for balance and drifting, using the weight of the vehicle to shift. And then there is AWD, or all-wheel drive. The power is sent to all four wheels, either full-time or on demand. Now this is the most complex and traction-focused setup of the three. So here's a short list of basic and uneducated pros and cons for each drivetrain. So for front-wheel drive, our pros are good traction in low-grip conditions, cheaper, lighter, and easy to drive. Our cons are that it's prone to understeer, and front wheels do double the duty, steering and powering. Then we have the pros and cons of rear-wheel drive. Better weight transfer under acceleration, it allows precise oversteer and drift control, and the rear weight can be used to an advantage by skilled drivers. Now the cons are that it's harder to master, it requires a bit more skill. If neglected, the rear weight can be devastating. Now that rear weight also increases braking time, makes the vehicle prone to oversteer, and RWD sometimes has lower traction on loose surfaces. Then we have all-wheel drive. Its pros are that it has the best overall traction, rain, snow, or gravel, you name it. It has balanced handling and reduced braking time, despite the weight. The cons are that it's heavier and more mechanically complex, and it can easily mask poor driving techniques. Now let's see what we know about rally and rallycross events regarding these drivetrains. We'll start with rallycross, which are usually short technical courses alongside other competitors. The gist of it is that in two-wheel drive classes, forward-wheel drive usually comes out on top. It's predictable, grippy, and lets you brake and power through corners cleanly. Rear-wheel drive cars can be exciting, but they're harder to keep consistent on loose dirt. All-wheel drive dominates rallycross, from lightning launches to confident slides through hairpins. Now for our off-road rally stages, which are usually long with mixed terrain, it's simply driver and car versus time and terrain. On longer, rougher stages, all-wheel drive is king. No other drivetrain offers the same all-surface, all-weather consistency. Front-wheel drive can hold its own in smaller classes, but it lacks the raw grip needed for top speeds and maneuvering. What about rear-wheel drive? Well, it's stylish, but you'll be dancing on a knife's edge if you don't have the skill to manage its weight shifting and traction loss at high speeds in loose terrain. However, with skilled drivers, rear-wheel drive can sometimes match all-wheel drive. So without an experiment for video game proof, and disregarding actual times from real events, if we were to guess which drivetrain was the fastest, well, all-wheel drive gives the best acceleration, corner exit grip, and consistency in almost any terrain. Front-wheel drive is best for two-wheel drive rally. It's simple, light, and easy to recover when you make a mistake. Rear-wheel drive is exciting, but unless you're a pro with a featherlight throttle foot, you'll be sliding more than winning. In short, we could assume all-wheel drive is the best choice. Not just for a beginner like me, and not just a theoretical choice, but I'm pretty sure that most professionals can agree that all-wheel drive will be the choice. Well, now we'll select 3 vehicles, 1 per drivetrain. These vehicles have to have similar weights, horsepower, and be vehicles we can try and use in both Forza Horizon 4 and Dirt Rally 2.0, in order to get as close as possible to an accurate experiment, if this were done in real life. We're going to set aside the differences in these vehicles between games and maybe leave that aside for another video, such as to what extent is a driving simulation really realistic, but I digress. The vehicles we are choosing are a Subaru Impreza with 300 braking horsepower, weighing at 1,230 kilograms for our all-wheel drive class, a Ford Sierra Cosworth RS500 with 310 braking horsepower, weighing at 1,175 kilograms for our rear-wheel drive class, and a Volkswagen GTI with 270 braking horsepower, weighing at 980 kilograms for our front-wheel drive class. So we've chosen these vehicles specifically because they're both in Dirt Rally 2.0 and Forza Horizon 4, and are as close as they get to each other in braking horsepower and weight, with the obvious outlier here being the Volkswagen GTI, having the lowest braking horsepower and weight out of the 3. And that's just a consequence of front-wheel drive, but it can be used to our advantage. Now with the vehicles for our test selected, we have to select our tracks. 2 tracks for Forza Horizon 4 and 1 track for Dirt Rally 2.0. The tracks we're selecting for Forza Horizon 4 need to be percent-based, not lap-based. These are Lakehurst Forest Trail and Bamburgh Rally Trail. Now the reason we've chosen these tracks is due to Forza Horizon 4 classifying them as dirt racing series. And of all the dirt racing series, these 2 have the least amount of tarmac. Tarmac being a man-made factor that affects our studies here of the 3 drivetrains against off-road terrain. Now for our map selection in Dirt Rally 2.0, this is the one we're using. San Isidro, Catamarca, Argentina. 4.48 kilometers. This map is fully off-road, but I mostly chose it for the distance. It's not too long to ruin a whole run due to an accident, and short enough to absolutely speed through it to get our times. Well, we now have our 3 drivetrains, we know the vehicles we will be using, and we know the maps we'll be using. Let's get started with Forza Horizon 4.
It's really fun to drive because that's what you do with all-wheel drive. You know, well, you actually drive, right? Holy shit.
These are the stats of each of our vehicles here on Forza Horizon 4 for our Subaru Impreza, our Ford's Cosworth, and our Volkswagen GTI. So keep in mind the braking horsepower and the weights that I mentioned before were for the base vehicle. So now that we changed a couple stats for the vehicles, the weights and braking horsepowers have changed. But this was just to ensure that we could get the best time possible for each vehicle, and to level the playing ground when comparing each vehicle to each other. We'll do both tracks with each vehicle and show our times on screen. Alright fellas, let's get started. I'll be showing you a clip from my best time for each vehicle on each track. We'll be using our Subaru Impreza first on Lakehurst.
Oh, that's gonna be hard to beat. That was my best time on this track ever. Oh my god, okay. 206.9.
Now that Lakehurst is done, these are our times and this is our average. Now we move on to Bamburgh with our Subaru Impreza.
Boom. Looking at the back end of this Subaru. So hard. Okay. Leading once again, fellas. Here we go. This is the one. We did not get 230, but we did shave off another 2 seconds. 237 is alright. 237 is okay.
Now that that's done, these are our times and this is our average. We can now hop into our CR Cosworth and start on Lakehurst.
Lower tire pressure and like increased braking on the rear wheels is banging.
Can I move the witch hut?
No, you can never move the witch hut.
So they're just gonna keep attacking the witch hut then, because I have no other choice.
Yeah, they're gonna keep attacking through the witch hut. You could just place a, I don't know.
A wall behind the witch hut.
Yeah, place a wall because you don't need your peasants to access the witch hut. It's just you as a player that needs to access it. Well, we're wall riding and shit now.
Eventually I'll get all the wood towers out of there and make all stone.
Fuck yeah, bro.
No, my towers, my space is looking quite
Scrumdiddlyumptious.
quite good right now. Oh fuck, that's not good.
Dragon?
No, one of my storage places are in the way of a wall. I'll just have to move it. I'll put it somewhere else. And I can use, for all my places where the fishing stuff, can I go over? I guess I can leave them on the outside, no? Or do I put gates there?
Wait, you cut out a bit. Could you repeat that?
You know where like you put fishing and there'll always be like a way for keep going through the fishing place? The fishing docks?
Dude, that's
Do I just
where,
put-
instead of putting walls there, I would just put separate towers with...
Well fellas, these are our times and this is our average. Now we can move on to Bamburgh.
Real.
Well, how's everything, you know? Unless I'm gonna go for a walk, they're like, don't you have a cat? I'm like, yeah. How does that work? I'm like, well, it's kind of just like there.
You
Like,
kind of just go out, you know what I mean?
I'm like, I don't know what you're asking me. Like, is it? How does it work? I'm like, well, I have like a bag strapped to my leg. She's like, oh,
You just pee in it.
I'm just dumping it. Where's the witch hut? I'm just realizing I haven't found the witch hut yet.
Isn't it south of you, bro?
That's the other map. This
Oh
one, I have no
shit,
clue
I have
where it
no
is.
fucking clue.
Bro, where at? Is it on my island?
Probably not.
No.
I don't think the game even lets you put your island near the witch hut in the beginning.
Yeah, I did. I put mine right beside it in my last world.
Oh, real.
Usually they're covered by forest, but this one, I don't even fucking see one. Guess I gotta wait. And it's fine if I wait a little bit, I think.
Never make the witch angry, bro.
I did already. She slowed down my people. I'm like, fuck you.
Real.
The best thing they added to this game, I think,
Mm.
is actually like the advisors tell you what.
Bro, we gotta get you a new mic, Shotty. Maybe it's just the way
I'm just far. I'm just far.
when you're talking, it doesn't pick up the last
far.
word.
I'm far from my mic. That's
Oh,
why.
real.
But the advisors, they tell you what everything needs.
Mm.
So too long to harvest. We should put some granule. But I have no stone yet, so I'm building a path to stone.
Yeah, they give you the
fucking dumbass.
basic shit that you kind of like need. You know what I mean? It's like follow their shit, and then you have to be the one. You're the main architect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You make it more efficient, but they kind of tell you what is 100% necessary and missing.
My hands are so greasy. I can't open my pack of bears.
Alright, that's our best time yet. Fuck,
What is
dude,
it?
okay. I was 256 with the rear-wheel drive on this track when my all-wheel drive time was like 240 something.
Now that we have those times, let's finally move on to our Volkswagen GTI on Lakehurst.
Maybe when I'm not cooking. That car literally sounds like a little bug. It sounds like a mosquito. I sound like an angry tiger. That car sounds like a mosquito. Call it the fly. Man, fuck this hairpin, bro. I should be gearing up right now. I'm gonna catch up that. I think that's a Lancia. I'm gonna catch up to that fuck ass car. I'm gonna show him what airbags are used for. The fuck over here. Boom! It's my chance. This guy's really cooking. I hit third for a second there, bro. We don't take first, but fourth to second with a 1 second difference? That was a fun fight. Tell you what. Okay, I'll be back. I'll be back.
We now have our Lakehurst time. Let's move on to Bamburgh.
Driving better makes you stronger. Some shit like that, I don't know. I shifted up for no reason there. It doesn't matter because we overtake quite a few people here. See, look, no crashes right there. That's us learning how to drive and overtake, right, guys? Wow, these are some really good What the fuck is going on with me this race? Sometimes I impress myself. What the fuck? sometimes I don't impress myself. Like the moments where I forget to shift up in time. Those are my least memorable moments as a driver. This guy's up my ass. I can hear him buzzing and shit. Still a little too fast, tell you what. Still a little too fast there. Always that one turn. Because I'm just going down that straightaway, having the time of my life, still going too fast. Just like here. Gotta understand that if I slow down for a turn on that small portion of tarmac, it's a lot better than trying to drift into it or crash into the wall. Probably don't have to slow down for this one right here. And this wall right here, yep, okay. Why the fuck did we do that? 243. Was that first try? I think so. Anyways, that's our time. 243. All right, take two.
Well, fellas, that is all for our Volkswagen GTI. These are our times and our averages. Now, we have our times for each vehicle on both tracks. It's time to come to a conclusion based on the observation of our results.
And that's also how you do it, fellas, other than that little stop sign over there. I have no traction on the dirt. All right. Oh my god, did I slow down way too much for that exchange from tarmac to... What's going on? I'm not even pressing the brake down. What the fuck's going on? What happened to my vehicle, bro? What? What the fuck? That's cooked. Something happened to my car.
Okay, so before we get right into it, just keep in mind this is my first time doing a video like this, so my analysis, my explanations might be not straight to the point, that might be a little confusing. I'm still getting the hang of trying to communicate data appropriately, analyze data appropriately, and make valid and solid conclusions to convince you guys, you know what I mean? Or to make you go, ah, you know what, he's right. So, just bear with me, I tried for this one. So from a quick observation of our average for both Lakehurst and Bamburgh, we can say that all-wheel drive is the best drivetrain for off-road rallycross, in this case, since it has overall the lowest average for both tracks, coming in at 207.202 for Lakehurst, while rear-wheel drive has 230.650 and front-wheel drive has 218.530, and coming in at 239.495 for Bamburgh, while rear-wheel drive has 257.551 and front-wheel drive has 244.748. Is this test valid, however? Not really. I mean, I'm not a skilled driver, and my learning curve affects this data greatly. For example, due to all-wheel drive having excellent traction and good handling, we were able to absolutely floor it, despite our lack of skill. And after memorizing the track, handle the car fairly well on it, which gave us such excellent times. However, despite having the track memorized, we were not used to the handling of two-wheel drive when we first picked up rear-wheel drive, hence our slower times. Eventually though, we got used to rear-wheel drive, and we can see that through our increasingly better times on both Lakehurst and Bamburgh. With this understanding and knowledge, we jumped into front-wheel drive with a memorized track and a certain level of experience with two-wheel drive, hence the exponentially better times that are almost reflective of all-wheel drive. So when moving from all-wheel drive to two-wheel drive, our lack in skills started to show, with our rear-wheel drive times being dramatically far behind. I'm stating here that I'm beginning to attribute the large gap in all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive times, not to the drivetrain, but to the driver, me.
Do I take it back? Probably.
I say this because our front wheel drive times are 11 seconds off the average for Lakehurst and 5 seconds off on the average for Bamburgh. So front wheel drive was just as good as a contender against all wheel drive, but obviously displaying a slight difference due to the lack of power on two of its wheels. But I'm pretty sure that if I really tried, I could push the Volkswagen GTI to get the same times as the Subaru Impreza. Shaving off 11 seconds on one track and 5 seconds on another track takes practice, but I know it's not impossible. Maybe another time. Once we get the hang of driving more and more, we could test a variety of all-wheel drive cars against front-wheel drive cars on one track, or test the same or two entirely different all-wheel drive and front-wheel drive cars on every dirt track on Forza Horizon 4 to see if it really was a memorization of the tracks that improved our time. But that's for another video. I think our times here are subjective of a driver getting used to the drivetrains on the same track, so that means that every time we performed on the track, we got better and better. So there was a drastic change in our skill and learning curve that affected our times. It's not like our skill was level for all the vehicles on both tracks. And by the time we went into front-wheel drive, we were going into it with heaps of track knowledge. Well, lo and behold, despite the human error,
Oh my god!
despite the potential factors such as the fact all-wheel drive had snow on the track initially and then it all disappeared, or despite the fact we just got better as a driver,
What control! That was beautiful!
the data suggests all-wheel drive is better, with front-wheel drive coming in second as a close contender and rear-wheel drive coming in last. I am pretty sure Dirt Rally 2.0 can give us a more precise answer, since weather and terrain quality won't change. And to be honest, I am now going into Dirt Rally 2.0 with some skill. And by the time we get our first time with our Subaru after heaps of mistakes and restarts, we will have the track absolutely memorized, which will allow us to go to two-wheel drive vehicles with some skill driving them already and some track knowledge off the get-go. Anyways. Well, now that we've arrived to a conclusion in the simulated environment of Forza Horizon 4, let's jump into Dirt Rally 2.0, where we'll be using the same vehicles, albeit with some differences, on our San Isidro track. I'll be showing you my best time only, but showing you all 3 times for each drivetrain for the track after I complete it. We'll begin with our Subaru Impreza on the San Isidro track. Enjoy.
We had it! We had it!
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 60, unseen 4 left small cut, 50, 5 right, 80, 5 left, 30, 5 right, very long, opens of a crest, 40, 4 right, opens and slow, keep right into turn, 1 left long, 80, 6 left, 50, 4 right long, opens 50, early 5 left, extra long, opens over crests, 30, 5 right small cut, 50, 4 left long, tightens keep in, 50, 4 right, extra long, tightens 3, 30, 3 left long, opens 6 over crest, 60. 6 right, extra long of a crest, 30. 4 right long, keep in, 100. Long crest into don't cut, unseen, 2 right. Into 3 left long, tightens. Into 3 right long, don't cut. Into 4 left, extra long. Into 4 right. Into 3 left, opens. Into 4 left, tightens over bump. Caution, don't cut 1 right long around bridge. Opens, 4 right, extra long of a crest. Into 6 left, into 3 right. Into 3 left, tightens. Caution, 30, unseen, hairpin left, don't cut. 70, don't cut, 2 right. Opens of a crest, 30. Keep right into unseen, hairpin left long, tightens of a bump crest, 30. 2 left. Into 1 right, very long, tightens don't cut. Into open hairpin left, tightens of a crest bump.
What am I doing? I'm not accelerating there. Why not?
5 right, tightens 1, opens and tightens over crest, over finish, 30 to stop.
.245. Okay. What did I tell you guys? 245. Told you we'd make it in 245.
With that completed, these are our times with our Subaru Impreza, and this is our average. Now we can move on to our Sierra Cosworth on our San Isidro track. Enjoy.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 60, unseen 4 left small cut, 50, 5 right, 80, 5 left, 30, 5 right, very long, opens of a crest, 40, 4 right, opens and slow, keep right into turn, 1 left long, 80, 6 left, 50, 4 right long, opens 50, early 5 left, extra long, opens over crests, 30, 5 right small cut, 50, 4 left long, tightens keep in, 50, 4 right, extra long, tightens 3, 30, 3 left long, opens 6 over crest, 60.
How am I losing traction on a fucking 6 left?
6 right, extra long of a crest, 30, 4 right long, keep in, 100, long crest into don't cut, unseen, 2 right. Into 3 left long, tightens, into 3 right long, don't cut, into 4 left, extra long,
Really thought I was gonna hit the wall there. You guys saw that.
into 4 right, into 3 left, opens, into 4 left, tightens of a bump, caution, don't cut, 1 right long around bridge, opens, 4 right, extra long of a crest, into 6 left, into 3 right, into 3 left, tightens, caution 30, unseen, hairpin left, don't cut. 70, don't cut, 2 right, opens of a crest, 30, keep right, into unseen, hairpin left long, tightens of a bump crest, 30, 2 left, into 1 right, very long, tightens don't cut, into open hairpin left, tightens of a crest bump, 5 right, tightens 1, opens and tightens over crest, over finish, 30 to stop.
Please less than 309. 308. Okay, well, we got a better time. What can I say?
With our death-defying run with our rear-wheel drive done, these are our 3 times and this is our average. Now we can move on to our Volkswagen GTI on our San Isidro track.
Because at least the acceleration would have started right
5,
away.
4, 3, 2, 1, go. 60, unseen 4 left small cut, 50, 5 right, 80,
the organic way.
5 left, 30,
By
5 right, very long, opens of a crest, 40, 4 right, opens and slow, keep right into turn, 1 left long, 80, 6 left, 50, tightens over crests, 30, 5 right small cut, 50, 4 left long, tightens keep in, 50, 4 right extra long, tightens 3, 30, 3 left long, opens 6 over crest, 60. 6 right, extra long of a crest, 30, 4 right long, keep in, 100, long crest into don't cut, unseen, 2 right. Into 3 left long, tightens, into 3 right long, don't cut, into 4 left, extra long, into 4 right, into 3 left, opens, into 4 left, tightens over bump, caution, don't cut, 1 right long around bridge, opens, 4 right, extra long of a crest, into 6 left, into 3 right, into 3 left, tightens, caution, 30, unseen, hairpin left, don't cut. 70, don't cut, 2 right, opens of a crest, 30, keep right, into unseen, hairpin left long, tightens of a bump crest, 30, 2 left, into 1 right, very long, tightens don't cut, into open hairpin left, tightens of a crest bump, 5 right tightens 1, opens and tightens over crest, over finish, 30 to stop.
257, guys. What did I say?
Well, my friends, that's about it. These are our 3 times and our average for our front-wheel drive. Now we can come to a conclusion in our simulated environment of Dirt Rally 2.0 with the data we've collected. Well, my friends, let's take a moment to analyze. Here we are on a track that is identical, no matter the drivetrain, with weather that never changes, and no opponents to hinder us or slow us down. It is us, the track, and our cojones that play a factor in our performance here. So, we obtained averages of 252.884 for our all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza, 302.712 for our front-wheel drive Volkswagen Golf GTI, and 310.712 for our rear-wheel drive Ford Sierra Cosworth RS500. Once again, all-wheel drive has come out on top. Front-wheel drive has come second, and rear-wheel drive has come last. There are some more talking points to consider here though. So our all-wheel drive times decreased per run. All our times for each drivetrain did that, actually. With the first run ever making us comfortable with the track, and every first run for each drivetrain acting as a buffer on the track to get us used to our maneuverability difference. I will say, despite all-wheel drive having the better time now twice in a row, I think I would always choose front-wheel drive. It really feels a lot more fun than all-wheel drive. It makes you need to play with the wheel more to control your vehicle's weight transfer and to control your position on turns. There were times with all-wheel drive that we were going so fast, since that's all all-wheel drive does, that no matter the fact we hit the brake or used the handbrake or downshifted, we could only recover for a sharp turn by just crashing into the wall.
Into 3 left long.
Don't even want to see the car crash. Don't even.
We eventually got the hang of it, but it almost feels like the wheels would lock. All 4 of them. I think all-wheel drive takes hairpins fairly slowly, and since all wheels are pulling on the ground, it sometimes leads to me hitting the rock within the apex of the hairpin, and yes, I know that's just because I'm an ass driver. However, with two-wheel drive, where there was dead weight to the car since 2 of the wheels were accelerating and the other 2 weren't doing anything, it felt as though I could use my own momentum to fling the vehicle around a turn as opposed to steering through it. This is something that felt easier with rear-wheel drive than all the other drivetrains, and to be honest, rear-wheel drive did feel like it had the most control in turns, sharp ones in fact, but it was hard to deal with during long straightaways or long turns, sometimes just losing control in the grass or uneven terrain. Something that didn't happen to all-wheel drive or front-wheel drive.
I am still at a loss if the big difference between rear-wheel drive and front-wheel drive, and the reason front-wheel drive is closer to all-wheel drive, is the lower weight, or the fact that we can really press the gas and not have to worry about losing control, since our front wheels are steering and also driving, which lets us quickly respond to any loss of traction or mistakes. I think this is something I can answer by going in depth with rear-wheel drive in one video and front-wheel drive in another video, but I would love to just go in depth with rear-wheel drive soon so I can have some fun with hairpins. But anyways, once again, the data shows that all-wheel drive performs the best on off-road, and now in this case, off-road rally. I think this concludes our testing, and we can now move on to real-life times, that is, and get one more source of information to come to a solid conclusion. So unfortunately, it is quite difficult to compare the three vehicles we've chosen on a real-life track, as all these vehicles are from different eras in rally racing, and some never competed on the same track. If they did, well, it was never recorded. I don't know, show me. What we'll do instead is just compare drivetrains. We'll be using the results from the Rothmans Cyprus Rally from 1994, where a Toyota Celica Turbo, which is four-wheel drive, competed against a Ford Escort RS Cosworth, which is rear-wheel drive, and a Honda Civic SIR, which is front-wheel drive. Their times were 6:19.46, 6:27.09, and 6:34.45. This was the only event where I could obtain data from which it would show me rear-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, and although it's not all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive. So I kind of just took my losses and used this. The data is kind of subjective, but four-wheel drive has the best time, with rear-wheel drive coming in second and front-wheel drive coming in last with the worst time, which is absolutely different from what we've seen with our data. You know what I mean? So just like the footage I've shown you of all my attempts at racing, we have some footage of this rally. So here, check it out. So with all our times from our Forza Horizon 4 simulation session, our Dirt Rally 2.0 simulation session, and our real-life events, well, we can say with plenty of error and subjective data that all-wheel drive performs the best off-road at high speeds in our rallycross and rally events. I mean, if we were to practice driving more, if we were to try different vehicles and tracks out, I'm sure we could change this data and come up with a different conclusion. But for our first attempt, our first experiment, and our just first go with quick data sets, it's all-wheel drive. Finally, now that we've come to a conclusion on the drivetrain, here are those quotes I promised. So quote number one, Walter Roll, WRC champion, and this is a quote on all-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive. With four-wheel drive, it is not a question of traction. Get the car in the direction you want to go and then go flat out. There was more skill to rear-wheel drive. The source is a car and driver interview, what I'd do differently. Now, I think I mentioned this in the video or in one of my rants while I was doing the driving. You'll see that when I
post the raw footage. But with all-wheel drive, all you have to do is just drive. You know what I mean? Pedal to the metal, that's it. But with two-wheel drive, I know the quote just says rear-wheel drive, but in my opinion, front-wheel drive too, there has to be a little more skill, you know what I mean? There's a little more skill involved, a little more finesse. But what do I know? I don't even drive. Second quote is by Viv Dilks Frayne. He's a rally driver, and this is a quote on all-wheel drive performance. Given the choice, I take all-wheel drive. They can do things that others can't, and driven well, they're great to watch too. The source is Noisy Ninja. It's titled Rally Driver Interview. Now, I actually disagree with this. Not the fact that he would take all-wheel drive, but I think two-wheel drive is beautiful to watch. A lot nicer than looking at all-wheel drive vehicles drive. Now, I'm not picky. I like seeing cars, but if I were to choose, I would love to see two-wheel drive performance over all-wheel drive performance any day. And here's our third quote by Ken Block, a rally and gymkhana driver. This quote is on rear-wheel drive style driving. Peter Solberg uses the rear end of the car to get grip. That's more the style that I'm used to. We call it committed, backing the car in and using the rear end for grip. The source says SVT Performance Forum, and the title is Ken Block Interview. Now, I did mention this before, where it's like, for two-wheel drive, there's a certain beauty to it. Like, you have to have tricks up your sleeve to actually perform your best in these vehicles, as opposed to just going flat out and driving with all-wheel drive, you know what I mean? So they sacrifice that finesse and that beauty for more performance. But I don't know, I really do appreciate two-wheel drive a lot more than all-wheel drive. But I mean, what am I to say? I'm just a chemist at the end of the day. So anyways, fellas, that is all for the video today. I had a lot of fun making this one, to be honest, so I hope you had fun watching it. While I work on my last Metro Exodus video and the quarterly Payday 2 achievement video, I'll be releasing a couple more learning or experimenting videos like this one. So stay tuned. I look forward to seeing you during my next video. Oh, and like most YouTubers say, if you like the video, leave a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. And if you want to interact live, come check me out on Twitch. Anyways, I look forward to seeing you during my next video. Bye-bye.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 60, unseen 4 left small cut, 50, 5 right, 80, 5 left, 30, 5 right, very long, opens of a crest, 40, 4 right, opens and slow, keep right into turn 1 left long, 80. 6 left, 50, 4 right long, opens 50, early 5 left, extra long, opens over crests, 30, 5 right small cut,